The race to find the next James Bond has taken another unpredictable turn. While industry favorites like Aaron Taylor-Johnson and Henry Cavill have dominated speculation for months, a surprising new name is quickly gaining traction: Scott Rosemarsh. Despite having only a handful of screen credits, the relative unknown has climbed the betting odds and is now being seriously considered by some fans and bookmakers alike. According to data from OddChecker and Betfair, Rosemarsh currently holds 11-8 odds, higher than Taylor-Johnson's 2-1 and even Cavill's 1-10 at some bookmakers. This meteoric rise comes despite Rosemarsh's limited filmography, which includes roles in the war drama Wolves of War, 2022, and the TV series The Outlaws. While he hasn't been officially confirmed as a candidate, his sudden popularity in betting markets suggests that he's captured public imagination, if not yet the attention of casting directors. A mix of fresh faces and familiar names. Rosemarsh isn't the only outsider making waves. Other rising names in the Bond sweepstakes include Aaron Pierre, The Underground Railroad, Patty Gibson, Shadow and Bone, and Jack Lowden, Dunkirk, all of whom are considered dark horse contenders. At the same time, Hollywood veterans like Henry Cavill and Theo James continue to be mentioned as viable options, despite questions about age and direction. Bond casting has long been a mix of known and unknown actors. While Sean Connery and Daniel Craig were somewhat established when they donned the tuxedo, the franchise has a history of launching fresh faces into global superstardom. George Lazenby, who played Bond in On Her Majesty's Secret Service, 1969, was a complete unknown when cast. Timothy Dalton was more experienced, but still relatively under the radar internationally. This history adds weight to the idea that someone like Rosemarsh or similarly lesser-known talents could realistically emerge as the next 007. Casting preferences and franchise direction. One key factor complicating speculation is the reported age requirement. Insiders have hinted that the producers and Amazon, now overseeing the franchise, are prioritizing British actors under the age of 30 for Bond's next iteration. If accurate, this would rule out older fan favorites like Cavill, 42, Taylor-Johnson, 35, and Idris Elba, 52, despite their public popularity. Actors like Tom Holland and Harris Dickinson, both 29, remain well within that range and are said to be among the frontrunners. Interestingly, Taylor-Johnson has previously dismissed rumors that he had been offered the role, while Cavill, often considered the people's choice for Bond, has been largely silent about his current status. Idris Elba, long a fan-favorite pick, has repeatedly distanced himself from the rumors, citing age and a desire to avoid being defined by the role. Meanwhile, The Gentleman's star Henry Golding has expressed enthusiasm for joining the Bond universe, even if not as 007. Speaking to People, Golding said, "Why can't they bring out more agents or more aughts? That would be so much more fun. Bond is every actor's kind of nightmare and dream at the same time." Golding's candid take highlights the enormous cultural pressure that comes with stepping into such an iconic role and the growing interest in expanding the franchise beyond just one leading man. Denis Villeneuve to direct the next Bond chapter. Adding to the anticipation is the recent confirmation that acclaimed director Denis Villeneuve, Dune, Blade Runner 2049, will helm Bond 26. In a statement to The Hollywood Reporter, Villeneuve described the opportunity as both a massive responsibility and a huge honor, noting that 007 has long held a special place in his heart. "Some of my earliest movie-going memories are connected to 007, Villeneuve said. "I grew up watching James Bond films with my father. To me, he's sacred territory. I intend to honor the tradition and open the path for many new missions to come." Villeneuve's involvement signals a bold new era for the franchise, one that might embrace a more artistic and character-driven approach while staying true to Bond's legacy of high-stakes espionage and British cool. What's next for Bond? As of now, Bond 26 remains untitled and without an official release date, though projections suggest a 2028 premiere. Until then, the guessing game continues. Whether the next Bond is a household name, an indie favorite, or a complete unknown, one thing is clear: the future of 007 is as unpredictable as ever. Scott Rosemarsh's sudden rise in the odds might ultimately amount to nothing, or it could be the start of one of the most surprising casting choices in the franchise's history. Either way, the speculation is part of what keeps Bond fans around the world glued to every new development.